So I said some unpleasantries to Jack, and he gave me a look that nobody else gave me.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hey, buddy, good to see you again, man. How are you?
How are you, bro?
So good to see you, man. I'm going to jump into this. I feel like so much of this movie is about a guy who's chosen because of who he was in his past. So I'd love to go back to your past for a second, because this year is the 30th anniversary of your first really big movie, Renaissance Man. You were a kid being directed by Penny Marshall, working alongside Danny DeVito. I'd love to know, what's the most important lesson you learned or memory you have working on that set that maybe still shapes the actor that you are today?
It changed the entire trajectory of my life. If there is nobody that I've ever encountered that has more to do with my success or my commitment to becoming an actor than Penny Marshall. I would not have a film career if it wasn't for Penny Marshall. And so that experience was invaluable. It changed my life. I had always grown up loving cinema. I had success, a little minor success in music. I had some interest in me being an actor, but only to kind of exploit what success I had in the music world. And then when I had an opportunity to meet Penny, I only wanted to meet her because I loved her so much on Laverne and Shirley, and she reminded me so much of home and my family and my mom and my sisters. So when I went to meet her, it was very different from any of the other meetings that I had about, trying to do, a film. And so that day I went from saying, I don't want to be an actor, I just wanted to meet you, to auditioning for 4 different roles and really kind of putting myself through the paces, flying myself out to LA to screen test, and spending every free moment on the set with her or with Danny, kind of watching what they do and what everybody else was doing. And from that point on, I didn't want to do anything else. So it was, that was the pivotal moment for me.
That's awesome, dude. There's a lot of talk about who Mike was when he was in high school. I know you're still friends with a lot of guys from your past. If I were to run into your high school buddies, what's the version of Mark Wahlberg that they know that the rest of us don't get?
Well, they've seen me when we were young. They've seen me, at a very, I was like everybody else, I think I've come a long way, but I would be I would love for you to meet them and hear the stories. I wonder if you would think that we were the same age.
I'd love that. It's funny. I love that my friends are in no way, like, they're proud of me that I trace my dreams and I get to do this, but they are in no way impressed by any of this, which I feel like is sort of the best thing.
Yeah. Well, look, the great thing is, I've always kind of conducted and carried myself with integrity, so I could always kind of go back and still get the respect in the neighborhood. But also because I also was not afraid to go and pursue my dreams, but still stay true to who I was and not try to pretend to be something that I'm not.
Fair enough. Well, dude, here's what I can tell you. Our first interview was, I think, 18 years ago for The Departed, and you're the exact same guy. Obviously evolved as an actor, but it's the exact same guy that I met 18 years ago. But I would love to ask you, because I always tell you that The Departed is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love a good behind-the-scenes story, and there's nothing I love more than a good behind-the-scenes Jack Nicholson story. And I'd love to know, do you have any great stories of being on set with Jack? Because I feel like he yields just the best stories from actors.
Well, Jack's the GOAT. I mean, Jack was... I was improvising throughout the movie, and my character obviously didn't have nice things to say to anybody. So I said some unpleasantries to Jack, and he gave me a look that nobody else gave me. And of course, Marty, I did one more, and then they both had a little chat, and then they said, make sure that that's the end of that. But I'm lucky enough to know Jack offset for many, many years, and in the place I think we were both most comfortable, which is on the golf course. So I got to spend a lot of quality time with him, and he's one of the GOATs.
Dude, you are one of the GOATs. They're pulling me out of here, man. I always end these interviews by saying thank you for always being so kind to me, man. Thank you for fitting me in your schedule, and I love you, buddy.
You haven't aged a day.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.